Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Are y'all ready for a little bit of spicy sassy Katie? In this video, I'm going to be making our Rainbow Road soap, but I'm also going to be talking about some very important soap making issues. If you're a soap enthusiast, you love buying and supporting handmade soap businesses, I will be giving you some advice on how to pick a good business to support. And if you're a soap maker, I will also be sharing some advice with you for my personal tips and tricks of recipe formulation, how to keep your batter liquid, color vibrancy, etc. This soap is part of our bestsellers collection launching on August 1st at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And without further ado, let's go see what Sassy Katie has to say. Oh man, am I excited for the soap! This fragrance typically does exceptionally well. And whenever I blend titanium dioxide into my lye water, I always do a double blend at the bottom just to make sure that I get everything incorporated. If you're having a problem getting your soaps to be really white, typically I would say either you're not using enough titanium dioxide or more than likely you're not blending it enough. I find that most people are actually using enough of it, they're just not blending it well. All right, now we're gonna blend all this up. Perfect. This is nice and runny. So another thing that a lot of people have talked about is common troubleshooting when it comes to soap recipes. Now, thousands, and I do mean thousands of people all across the world have used the soap recipe down in the description box of my videos. Whenever it has garnered critiques, mainly by other soap makers in Facebook soap making groups, so take that for what it is. The main critiques it garners is always about the science behind the recipe, where people misinterpret what saponification numbers mean. They put my recipe into soap calc, they read high cleansing numbers. Typically, I would say there's just a basic lack of understanding on what those numbers mean, how they make you feel with your soap bars. Modern soap making does an incredible breakdown about saponification numbers, about oil values, cleansing numbers, iodine, like all the things that you should be taking into consideration. Thousands of people have used the recipe. Over 100,000 bars have been sold over time. Okay, it's not the recipe. So I'm feeling really good about the integrity of this recipe. Some people say it feels too cleansing. Most of the time I find those people haven't cured the bar for long enough. They just need to cure their bars a little longer. But when it comes to troubleshooting soap making, the number one thing that I find is that people are not blending their batter long enough, or they're not mixing at the right temperature. They're either mixing too hot or too cold. For today, you can see that I have added a fair bit of titanium dioxide, and my soap making batter is like water. My oils today are at 110 degrees Fahrenheit. My lye water solution is at room temperature, which for me right now is about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, a lot of people will tell you to keep your soap making oils and your lye water solution within 20 degrees of one another. I have not found that to be particularly useful with most of the recipes that I have made. It may vary recipe to recipe, but more than likely, I would say people aren't soaping either hot enough or cold enough. I would never soap at 120 degrees. That's way too hot in my opinion. I soap most of the time between 80 degrees Fahrenheit and 110. That's a huge range for different recipes. You also have to take in mind what additives are you putting in. If you're adding in an essential oil that's going to seize when your soap is hot, you need a soap cooler. So there's a huge range of availability there. And I know that's frustrating. As a maker, you're like, hey, isn't there just like a right answer that I can use all the time? No, that's part of the craft. You have to experiment with stuff like this. I wish I could speed up the learning process for people who are experimenting with fragrances, recipes, etc. But I am convinced that that learning process is what will make you a great soap maker. You need to go through that process. I can give you some of the steps, but I can't run the whole race for you. You're gonna have to do some of that yourself, and ultimately you'll be really glad that you did. When it comes to colorants, a lot of people will also say that their colors are dull and dingy. Sometimes that has to do with the actual soap making oils they're using. If they're using a super extra virgin olive oil, your soap is going to be kind of green tinted. It's not going to look as good. You're going to have to use color theory to combat that. Now again, I'm going to draw your attention to the thinness of my batter. We're barely at even a light trace here. If I lift up my stick blender, it's not leaving any lines on top. Super watery. I have been working with this batter now for over 10 minutes. It's full of titanium dioxide. It's full of organic, sustainably harvested palm. It's full of coconut oil. It's still super runny. The temperature is the main contributor to the runny batter. I have even added sodium lactate. So I even have a hardener in there. It's still runny because the soap is warmer. I like everything about this soap so far. This yellow is a little underwhelming, and I think I'm gonna need to add a little something to it. Woo, I'm feeling yappy today. I hope y'all love a yappy video, because goodness gracious, you're gonna be getting one. Now what I'm about to show you is the potency and effectiveness of a neon colorant. So I'm going to be using tennis ball breaker. In this little cup, I have half a gram. Okay, let that sink in. Half a gram. You're looking at maybe a quarter of a teaspoon. I'm going to use a little bit of this soap batter that I have here, about half a tablespoon. I'm going to mix this up to get rid of the clumps. Normally I would do this with oil, but because I'm adding this in a little bit later, I don't really have that option. Gonna pour this into my yellow here, scrape out that container a little bit, not a ton, and I'm gonna blend that up, and I want you to see in 60 ounces of soap batter what half a gram can do for your color. Extremely effective. We really just boosted our true yellow that we have in there. Now we're gonna add in our rainbow sherbet fragrance oil. This is from Nature's Garden. This is the new version. They have 2 different versions. This is a go-to fragrance for soap making beginners. This performs exceptionally well. It has a great fragrance hold. After your soap has sat there for 4 to 6 weeks, you're still going to be able to smell it really easily. Very strong. All right, I have been working with this soap now for 15 minutes. It's starting to thicken a little. I've taken my time. I've tweaked my recipe a little bit, and we still have tons of workable time to get in the design that I'm doing, which is a drop swirl. I'm working with an enormous batch of soap. Nobody making a little purple soap mold is going to be working with their batter for 15 minutes like I've been working with mine. You're talking about 5 to 7 minutes. So if you're using my recipe in a small mold, you're going to be fine. And by the way, this oil blend is available at Makesy. It is my recipe. It will obviously be cheaper for you to make this recipe, my 5 oil blend, for you to DIY those oils yourself if you're planning on making a lot of soap. However, if you don't know whether or not you're going to enjoy a soap making journey long term, I would suggest buying the pre-mixed oil blend, because you can get free shipping with Makesy. And if you're going to be doing little tiny batches, that's going to be more cost effective instead of having to buy bulk of those 5 different oils. I am going to blend these in by hand just because, again, we are getting a little bit of that thickening. I am even having a little bit of spillage here. Whenever you, are living life on the edge, like I'm living here, instead of having bigger containers, I mean, you're going to run that risk, and I'm just okay with it. But this thickness is pretty ideal for pouring drop swirls. I am going to see if I can just blend this in a little bit faster. Okay, this looks great. It's at the perfect thickness for the type of drop swirl I want to do. So let's get our mold from 𝘊𝘐𝘐𝑚. I'm gonna cut in here real quick to tell you about my favorite go-to resource for all things creative, Craftsy. Whether you're into knitting, baking, quilting, painting, or any other craft, Craftsy has something for you. As I have taken control of my health this year, I am always looking for creative solutions to still make my favorite baked goods with less sugar, so it has less of an effect on my glucose. I took the class by Michelle doll called Smart Baking Substitutions. And after learning more about the science about what fats and oils and sugars do in your baked goods, I wanted to try to make a pound cake, but with sugar substitutions like an erythritol blend instead of just regular cane sugar. And I was super nervous about this. I also decided to take on this project at like 10 o'clock at night, not really sure what we were doing there, but I had to bake. And the whole time I'm thinking like, this is going to be too much batter for my pan, for my recipe. I put it in the oven and it turned out it was a little bit too much batter, like admittedly not so great there, but the cake itself turned out perfectly. I have never had a pound cake come so cleanly out of the pound cake pan. It looks beautiful and it tastes amazing. You would literally never know that I had used a healthier alternative to just straight sugar. Even Basil wants the cake. Craftsy is all about creative inspiration. They offer over 2,000 classes in categories like sewing, baking, quilting, and painting. Plus, new classes are constantly being added to the website. Craftsy also has live streaming tutorials, so you get real-time tips and tricks from expert instructors. And here is the best part. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to use the link down in the description box below or on screen now can get Craftsy Premium for $1.49. I know that sounds crazy, but it's legit. $1.49 for 1 year of premium Craftsy. So click the link in the video description down below to get started with Craftsy on your creative journey. Thank you to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to the soap making. One of the things that I love about my 𝘊𝘭�59 molds is that they are MoCRA compliant. If you are a small business owner who makes and sells cosmetics, bath and body products, etc., and you don't know about MoCRA, you should. It is something that will affect you and me, and it is already in place. I would also say if you don't have a CPA, you should get one, because there is a good chance that you owe sales tax in other states if you are shipping online. I would say if you're making, enough to employ yourself, even if you're just a one-woman show, I would say it is well worth your time to ask a tax associate whether or not you should be collecting sales tax in other states. If you have hit their minimum threshold, all the states are different now. It is a big fat mess. I know people who should have been collecting taxes in those states and ended up with over $50,000 in back taxes because for 2 years they weren't collecting and they should have been, and then there were penalties and blah blah blah. Soap making business ownership is not as easy as can you make a good bar of soap. There's so many factors involved all over the United States. Different people are dealing with different types of regulations, new legislations, etc., etc. So make sure when you're opening up your business that you are checking what is necessary and what code is for your state. Be an informed person, save yourself all the hassle later on. So there you go, a little bit of soap making advice, a little bit of business advice. I get so many questions from so many different people. I get so many I wouldn't be able to answer all of them just because, that's not the primary function that I'm doing. I am not a small business advice column. I am literally just a small business. I'm happy to share what I know, but I could never give as much advice or as much help to people as I would wish. So please, 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 please do not take some influencer's course and then go, okay, I know what I'm doing. Please talk to business professionals who have licenses in tax, organization, etc. I see so many people selling soap making courses online for recipes recipes and things that they have literally just taken off of Google, or they have asked ChatGPT to formulate for them, and it shows. If they are making a lot of claims about what their soap can do for you, about how it can help your cancer, your eczema, cosmetic and drug claims, those are the people that instead of flocking towards, I would be wary of, just because of all of the hot water we can get into here in the United States for making such claims if we can't back them up, and if we're not formulating and creating things within compliance. So those are big issues. They do matter. Listen, kids who are watching this, it is not cool to not wear safety gear when making soap. It's not cool just to wear glasses and not protect your arms. It's not cool to not wear a hairnet whenever you are manufacturing bath and body products for other people. They don't want your hair on their soap. They don't care how cute that Instagram video is. They don't care that you got a blowout the day before. If you're not soaping a little ugly, I am a little suspicious. You know what I mean? I want to see you suited. I want that PPE and that safety gear on. This looks splendid. All right, let's mix it up. It is literally perfect for mixing because you cannot overmix a soap that is this thick. Oh, so beautiful. Anyway, that is a lot of chitter chatter. Hopefully that has helped you with soap making, helped you with business stuff, helped you with knowing what to look for as a buyer. If you don't want to buy soap from me, that's fine. I have said that for years. I make a lot of soap and I sell to a lot of people, but I'm not going to be certain people's cup of tea. That's why we need all different types. But what we don't need, here's the one type we don't need, is people being unsafe, is people marketing their unsafe business manufacturing practices as holistic and crunchy. Girl, you having your hair in my soap bar is just unsanitary and quite frankly, super unnecessary. So to my followers who make soap, hopefully some of that helped you. And to my followers who buy soap, hopefully that helped you. There's some red flags to look for. Nice! We're going to be using some Radio Stars glitter from Latchkey Lusters. Super pretty, looks super good on top of a soap. And then we're going to be spritzing it with a little bit of Sparkle Me Aqua. I've already used that color this month and it's just such a good one to add to the tops of soap like this. Really, really, really complements what we've got going on here without adding too much. Come on over here, Sparkle Me Aqua. Perfect. You can see that shimmer. We love a microfine moment. Pastel, pastel. All right, that's it. All right, let's let this sit for 18, 24 hours. May not even need to go that long for this one. It sets up pretty quick. And we will come back and take a look at the inside after this quick commercial break. Boy, am I happy I decided to beef up that yellow because my gosh, look at it now. It's perfect. Just gonna place this on the side and then we're gonna take a peek at that truly pastel soap. And on the inside, yes. Oh, it's perfect. And the smell is divine. Ooh, look at this one with the green. That looks so good. Question of the day, is it acceptable for a grown-up to eat rainbow sherbet? Do you have to sit down when you buy that at an ice cream shop and like hide it because other adults will judge and be like, oi, what are you doing? Just like Superman ice cream. Y'all remember Superman ice cream? Like, can an adult eat that and be okay with it? Like, I don't know, man. It's risky waters. Of course, I personally don't care. I love rainbow sherbet. Actually, my favorite part of the rainbow is the orange flavor. But if I had like 12 options, I probably wouldn't pick that anymore. Guess that means my taste buds are dying. I have to have stronger flavors now. I'm getting old. These look so good. I'm so glad we get to bring it back because you guys absolutely loved this soap last year. I am so pleased with how this bar turned out. It couldn't be more perfect. And the yellow, It's poppin'. And for those of y'all who have been with me a really long time, you already know this, but if this is your like first introduction to me, just know I'm a huge advocate for other soap makers. I have supported many soap makers throughout the years. I love my soap making community. This is why I provide all of my tips, tricks, resources, recipes, including an entire soap making playlist where I will teach you how to make soap both cost efficiently and beautifully, 100% for free. There's no email sign up, nothing. It's because I love the soap community. It's because I want to empower you guys to make great soap, and it's because I value your skin, your safety, your eyes. I care about that so much, and that's why I'm, again, a huge advocate for safety and also proper expectations when it comes to what a cold process soap bar can do for you. It can clean your skin effectively. It may even help with skin issues, but it's not going to cure anything. If you're a soap maker and you're interested more in oil properties, how they work together in saponification, I am going to link that modern soap making article down in the description box below. 𝘚𝘰𝘢𝘱𝑚 is an amazing resource to our soap making community, so highly recommend you check out all of her like blog, website, etc. And if you want to follow me on short form platforms, this is my handle on all the platforms. I've recently been talking about creator burnout and what I am doing to get over that hump and move forward with royalty soaps. There's a lot of fun things coming down the line, a lot of restructuring, new products, etc. It all takes time. I've been marinating this for a little while. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, whether that is going out and exploring more information or simply enjoying what you have already in your home. Maybe you want to pull out an old book that you've read many times, but you always get something new out of it. I don't really care what you do. Just do something for you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.